we are live.
All right. First order of business is approval of the minutes for September 13th, 2021.
Move to approve.
Got a second?
Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, first item of business, 0761-21, communication on behalf of the Public Safety and Licensing Committee requesting the appearance of David Lewis, agent for Dual Bar and Grill, located at 1102 Mound Avenue, pursuant to a formal expression of concern, and also requesting consideration of rescinding the formal expression of concern, 8th District. Tell me when we got the applicant on.
Yes.
He's on.
Good afternoon, Chair, Alder Chair Cole. This is Attorney Vince Bobbitt, and in my presence is David Lewis. He is the licensee for Dual Bar and Grill.
Okay,
Could you repeat your name, please, sir?
It's Vincent
Vince Bobbitt.
Bobbott.
Thank you.
All right.
What's Vince's role? Why is Vince representing him? What is Vince's role?
He's an attorney.
Okay.
Or Mr. Lewis.
All right. First off is new on, and can we have new swear the applicant in?
Sure. Mr. Lewis, could you raise your right hand, please?
I have it raised.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. You've been called here today because the committee has received notice of one or more concerning incidents at your establishment. As a result, the committee has issued a formal expression of concern against you under Section 6-27 of the ordinance. If you are issued 2 of these within a 6-month period or 3 or more within a 1-year period, you will be referred to the city attorney's office for disciplinary proceedings. We will start with the police department's summary. After that, you will have an opportunity to address the committee. You are not required to discuss the specific incident unless you wish, but you do have to tell the committee how you intend to address the issues going forward. Now, would the officer please remind the committee of the basis for the call-in?
This is due to several calls regarding the property at 1102 Mound Avenue and in regards to a nuisance property.
Could you read those, what they were?
Yep.
Do you have them?
Yeah, I do. I did a call search from 7/1 of 21 to 9/27 of 21. Now I know that he was not operating back in the summer as it was closed, but that's the parameter that I did my search. That did bring up 5 calls for service at that location, ranging from 8:15 of 21 until 9:26 of 21. The first one on 8:15, it was a tavern check. Officers conducted a tavern check at the bar. At that time, we had unknown results. I do have results. I'll just finish up with the calls, and then I'll go back to that. As well, on 8:15, it was called out to be a traffic hazard in that area. A driver that was passing by the area of the bar called to report 40 to 50 people outside the bar in the middle of the street. The caller was concerned that someone might get hit by a car. A total of 5 police squads were utilized to disperse the crowd. The officers noted several alcohol bottles and trash left on the sidewalks. Officers did go inside the bar and reported smelling marijuana inside. Several cars were towed from the area for parking violations. And then also on 8:15, this call came in after those 2 previous calls I just mentioned. The owner of the bar called to ask for police to disperse the crowd outside. And again, that was probably about 6 minutes after we had made contact inside the bar. Then we jumped to August 29th, another tavern check. Officers conducted a tavern check at the bar. This was at 2:24 a.m. and they noted that people were still inside and they were being cleared out. And then The most recent one is from the 26th of September. Around bar closing, officers drove by and saw that there was about 75 people in the street. They were in the neighborhood. They reported a lot of loud cars with radios blasting, people in the middle of the street obstructing traffic. The cars that were taken off were squealing the tires, and a lot of people were just milling around, loitering in the area. That call came out at 1:45 a.m. So from my search of the bar since it's been due, those are the calls that we have.
All right, and all I'm gonna say is, you guys just got open, and this is the reason why we had problems with the bar before. And I guess I wanna know how you guys are gonna address this problem.
Well, if I can speak,
I'd rather hear from the applicant.
well, I'd like to just give an overview. This is the first time we've found out about potential 5 incidents, and we dispute them almost in total. So we're going to do some research on that. I will tell you that,
So are you telling me that the police coming there aren't true calls?
well, what I'm telling you is that the letter we received was complaining about a bar located at 509 6th Street in Racine.
That's another one that's on the application. I don't know how, you guys should have gotten a letter for your bar also.
All I'm
'Cause
telling you is the letter I have cites 509 6th Street in Racine, which is a different location and a different business than Dual Bar and Grill. And we do have 5 incidents that the officer testified to that I'm going to conduct research into it because we believe strongly that those do not relate to this establishment. And the reason being is because of the time quoted by the officer doesn't make any sense. So we're going to do that research. I have no problem with Mr. Lewis testifying to what he's doing right now to make sure none of this stuff does happen. But we're going to have to do some research into the allegations because this is, first of all, our first thing that there was any kind of calls of service. And this is the first time we have any knowledge that something may have happened. So with that, I can let Mr. Lewis tell you the things we discussed that he's doing right now, but we're gonna have to do some follow-up research because we believe these are not related to his establishment. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Lewis.
Okay, so our first day open was 8:14. We Sunday through Thursday, we're open from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday, we're open from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. We're closing well before bar time. We're clearing the area. There is some people that live on that block. There was one call to non-emergency, and that was from me on the 8/14 date because there was a crowd out there that appeared after we were closed. We're closing well before bar hours. The police came to our establishment one time. That was that 8/14 day, and that was due to me calling them through the non-emergency number. There has not been any incidents there. We don't stay open nowhere near bar closing time. We clear all our people out. There's nothing else that happened. We wasn't even open last Sunday when they said it was a complaint. We weren't even open.
And that's why we have to do some follow-up research because this is the first time we found out about it. And then we're going to go back because we do have camera surveillance. And like my client said, he did call the police on this 8:15 incident, it looks like, which we opened up on 8:14.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they were open only a short period of time. And this is some of the stuff that happened when the other people were there. And I just want to make sure that we can nip it in the bud before it gets started. But I guess.
I mean,
I have a question. I have a question.
So, like-
Hold on. Alder Peterson has a question and then we'll let you go again.
Okay, I
Alderman
guess
Peterson?
my specific question would be for the incident on 8/29 at 2:24 a.m. where the officers state they entered the bar and people were still there. Was Mr. Lewis working that evening, or does he have any explanation for why somebody would be on the bar on 8/29 at 2:24 in the morning?
8:29.
That's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, that we don't stay open past 1, so that's impossible.
So you're saying the
Karen,
officer,
we would have been, we close at 1, like there's
Right.
one
were you there that evening, Mr. Lewis?
on 829. No, police didn't come inside that day, and we have footage to prove that.
We're gonna check the video. He's got video surveillance of the activities by the bar, so this is the first time we found out about, so we have to do some research.
We do have
Right.
a third party company that comes there and cleans up the bar inside and outside, but no bar operations are going on after 1 p.m. So these times are not even adding up. Employees are going past that time.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I would ask that,
So,
you do,
Alder Cole, can I say something right quick?
yes, sir.
I just looked it up. There is a licensed premise report that was done on the 29th.
Okay,
So there is documentation that an officer did go in that establishment and make contact with someone inside the bar.
He did. He made contact with the cleaner, Justin. We're not open. He doesn't work for the bar. He's just the third party cleaning company.
Do the research, because this is the first time we came across these calls, because he hadn't been doing any research on that line, so we can clear up some of this stuff, because
all
he
right.
camera surveillance.
All right, Sergeant Ortiz. So do they say if there was people, how many people were in the bar? If was anybody drinking or anything like that in this report, or?
It says on 8/29 at 2:24, this officer went into the bar with Sergeant Wilcox to assist with clearing out a crowd of bar patrons from Duo at 1102 Mound Avenue. When that officer arrived on scene, he observed approximately 3 to 4 dozen people standing next to the bar, with the majority of the crowd in the 1100 block of Mound. The crowd did not respond to multiple officers' red and blue flashing lights, coupled with verbal commands to leave the area via the squad speakers. That officer and other officers blocked westbound traffic on Liberty and southwestbound traffic on Mound to prevent vehicles from continuously stopping and looping around the area of the bar. That officer and Sergeant Wilcox then began pushing the crowd out of the area on foot. Once other officers came to the scene, they were able to move all the traffic out of the area, which took about a half an hour. No staff from Duo was able to be contacted as the bar had been closed, and no staff members from the bar were out or made themselves known while the officers attempted to clear the traffic.
And that to me lies a problem. We don't have the police resources to be going out to all these different bars and clearing out patrons that are not doing what they need to do. So I think I'd ask the committee, I would like to just keep this formal expression of concern open at this time and have you guys do your research that you have and see if anything happens. But right now, I'm not ready to rescind the formal expression of concern because you've been open a month and we have all these people outside of the bar, and we can't be having this type of stuff happening anymore.
Well, we will take care of your concerns, and I will check into it with my client, and I tell you, we do have professional security, so I understand your concerns, and we're going to deal with this in a forthright manner to make sure that the city of Racine and the police department don't have any problems with this establishment.
Then,
I'd like to make a
so,
motion that we defer this action and for 2 weeks when they come back with their information, and that we can also confirm it with our police department as well.
all right, before we get anything, No, do you have anything?
Well, typically what the committee does, if it's a first time and it is their first time being called in, you would just receive and file the report. All that does is keep it on the radar so that if anything else happens, it could go back before the committee. So the committee could call them in for a second formal expression concern, and it would start the due process at that point. But it would probably be more appropriate to do a receive and file motion at this time. That's my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to change your motion, Alderman Perez?
Yes, sir. Based on the attorney's recommendation, I'd like to receive and file at this time.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, good luck, guys. I hope you guys can get this straightened out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next item of business, 0762-21. Communication on behalf of the Public Safety and Licensing Committee requesting the appearance of Micah Tharp, agent for 509 Social Lounge located at 509 6th Street, pursuant to a formal expression of concern, and also requesting consideration of rescinding the formal expression of concern, First District. So we have Mr. Tharp on.
Hello?
All right. Nu, could you swear the applicant in, please?
Certainly. Mr. Tharp, if you could raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You have been called here today because the committee has received notice of one or more concerning incidents at your establishment. As a result, the committee has issued, excuse me, a formal expression of concern against you under section 6-27 of the ordinance. If you are issued 2 or more within a 6-month period or 3 or more within a 1-year period, you will be referred to the city attorney's office for further disciplinary proceedings. We will start with the police department's summary. After that, you will have an opportunity to address the committee. You are not required to discuss the specific incident unless you wish, but you do have to tell the committee how you intend to address the issues going forward. Now, would the officer please remind the committee of the basis for the call-in?
Okay, I did some research from, again, time frame of 7/1 of 21 until 9/26 of 21 for 2 different locations. First start with 509 6th Street, specifically at the Social Lounge. We've been having calls of a lot of issues in the area and a lot of the issues allegedly arising from the bar. So going back to the first one, it's July 5th of 2021. It was a loud music complaint. Dispatch received a call reference loud music. The caller stated that there was loud music coming from the bar, could be heard a few houses down. The off-duty officers working at the bar advised the music was coming from people in the area leaving. The officers advised they would be clearing out the remaining patrons from the area. That call came in at 2:40 a.m. On the 29th of July, there was an alleged robbery between a security guard and an assistant manager at the bar, where there was a report taken. August 8th of 2021, another loud music. A city alderman called and said that he received complaints about loud music coming from the bar due to the back door being open. Police arrived and had them close the back door, which they did. That was at 12:56 a.m. August 15th, an assistance requested. Officers responded to the bar reference assisting off duty in dispersing a large crowd outside. That was at 2:16 a.m. August 22nd, assistance requested. Officers responded to the bar reference assisting off duties in dispersing a large crowd outside. While there, a fight was reported in the back of the bar on 7th Street. The crowd was eventually dispersed. That was at 1:31 a.m. The next one is, I believe, September 3rd. That's a welfare check. Officers responded to the area for a welfare check. The concerned citizen stated there was a man passed out in his vomit. This male was in the back of 509 Social Bar, but it was outside the bar. The male was located and stated he stopped at the bar to get a drink and was walking to turn himself in at the county jail because he knew he had a warrant. The man was subsequently arrested for his warrant, and that was at 7 a.m. September 12th, traffic enforcement. The location was changed from the 500 block to the address of 509 by patrol officers. Officers noted the bar was letting out and moments later reported hearing possible gunshots. The shots were not validated. The officers then provided traffic enforcement in the area to clear the traffic. That was at 2:22 a.m. September 19th, a tavern check. Off-duty officers and patrol officers began trying to clear out the municipal lot that's located at Park and Water, along with moving a crowd out of the area. Off-duty officers called out a fight that had also occurred during that time. Before additional officers arrived, the crowd had dispersed the area. That was at 12:42 a.m. And then we had two more over the weekend. On 25th, we had a female trying to enter the bar. It was said that she might have had a gun and then tried dumping the gun before she actually came in. Off duty was able to handle it, and they had the lady leave the area. Also on the 25th, nothing really with the bar. It was just an off-duty officer gave a patron a ride home. So those are the calls that I have for 509 specifically. I do kind of want to make mention of the 500 block because we do get a lot of calls that come out as people thinking it has to do with 509 itself. And they just say that either they give their address or they give the 500 block of 6th Street. So I just wanted to make note of that just to kind of give some context. There, during the same time period of July 1st through the 20, I think I did this through the 24th before I handed the actual report in. There was 8 calls to the 500 block of 6th Street. One was not related to the bar. One was called to that area, but it was actually related to 515 6th Street. It was some people that actually lived in the upstairs. One was people walking by in the block, but when police officers arrived, those people were gone. One was changed from the 509 6th Street to the 500 block by patrol officers. Someone was trying to get in the bar, but they were not allowed to enter because they were drunk. And that person, because they were disorderly, was eventually arrested. Another one that was 500 block of 6th Street was just officers trying to assist Mount Pleasant in locating the vehicle in the area. Another call was 500 block of 6th Street, but that was associated with the Nash bar. One was, or two more were just people walking within the 500 block of 6th Street being loud. Police dealt with them, got them out of the area. And then there's one that was brought to my attention back on July 18th, where an arrest was made. Two groups of females were exited out of 509 because they were fighting inside. Once outside, off-duty officers tried to separate both groups. It did take, in my opinion, a little longer than it should have, and it kind of escalated the situation in the neighborhood. And one of the females was eventually arrested. So that one did start at 509. The security did try to get them out of the bar, and then off-duty tried to get them out of the area. But eventually, unfortunately, the two parties continued to fight, so one of them got arrested. So I just wanted to give some type of context as far as when we get called into the area of the 500 block, it's not always 509, as I mentioned, but I did go through at least 10 calls that were specifically associated with 509 itself.
And I want to say, on the night of June 26th, I happened to be out. 12:30 at night, I was walking by, and there was a large group of people in front of 509, and there was 2 off-duty officers, and these people were, and it wasn't a First Friday or anything like that, and there was quite a few people out on the sidewalks drinking. They were smoking pot, and nothing was done to move them along also. And my concern is we just can't have the police officers watching these bars every weekend, and we got to figure out a way to control these. So we'll let you go, Mr. Tharp, and tell me what you think you can do to help here.
Well, first of all, we could try to keep that back door shut so we could minimize the loud music. And we pretty much be out of here and closed, have all the patrons out by 2 o'clock at the max. So getting a call at around 2:40 and whatnot, things of that nature, I couldn't say that that was us because we are 100%. Everybody is out of here by 2:00. All the patrons, or before.
And I know I said this before, and I know this but the patrons aren't moving along, and it's, I mean,
What we do is we make sure that they're not standing in front of the business, and we make sure they're not standing in front of the business. Now, what they do down the street or outside around downtown, far as just outside congregating or whatnot, I don't really know what to say about that because it's like we can't make them go home because they're grown adults, but we can get them from in front of our establishment because we have to be closed at a certain time. And that's what we try to do. And we make sure that we closed up and we locked up and we out of here. And sometimes, in some cases, it's still people outside, but the bar is closed and we don't be around.
Alderman Peterson. You're on mute. Go ahead.
Mr. Tharp, thank you for coming and appearing. Do you think there's anything you can do to assist us and assist the police officers with getting these individuals? I mean, I don't know how many of them your managers or bartenders or yourself may know personally. Is there anything you think you can do to let people know when they leave that they need to move on? Or do you think that's something you can do, or you think that's just kind of something that's not your responsibility?
I mean, we let them know that. But after we get them out, we kind of like come back in the building and clean up what we got to clean up so that we could get up out of here. But we do let them know that, like, but we basically say, like, you guys can't stand around here. So we make sure they're not standing in front of 509 to the east or to the west. I mean, is this something else you guys would like us to do? But I mean, that's pretty much what we do. Make sure that they're not inside of the bar or at the bar. And then we also make sure that no one's standing in front of the bar at the end of the night.
Well, but I see,
Try to give them, and they start moving along. I mean, which direction they go, I don't know because I'm back in the bar by that time, but we do get them to move around. I don't know, some go across the street, some move down the block, but they're not directly in front of the business.
I know there's times I sit out there and I see them come out and I don't see people move. And I mean, you know, you may say you're closed up, it's not your problem, but on the other side, if your bar wasn't open, that probably there wouldn't be a problem there either. I'm trying to come up with something where we don't have to have the police over there tying up our police resources every single week. Maybe closing earlier or something like that. I'm just trying to help out here.
Can I say something, Alderco?
Yes.
I think there's a couple of, first of all, I don't know what the capacity is inside the bar. And then I don't know what time they're allowed to stay open. I know that when I was working third shift over the last year and then into the early parts of 2021, there would be large crowds gathering around the normal bar closing time, which is like 2:00. I can't tell you that all the people came from 509. I don't think that's fair. I can't.
Oh no.
I can't say that because there are a lot of bars down there. However, just in that area, it seems like there's a big congregating effect. So possibly going over their capacity as far as how many people can actually come in there at one time, maybe going over what time they're closing might be some helpful tips. And also maybe some of the people from your bar could come out and assist in getting these people not just outside your actual doors, but out of the area. When we have officers come into the area, and you know, just like I do, when we have a number of officers come into the area, we get disrespected. We get told we don't care what you're doing. We get told every single thing under the sun. we don't, our main priority is we're not trying to arrest everyone. First of all, we can't. We don't have the manpower to do that. We don't want to do that anyways if we can avoid it. The thing with your staff is you know these patrons obviously better than we do. So if you were actually out on the street a little more instead of just getting them out the door and then coming back in and closing your door and going to clean up, if you assisted, you're off duty, that might go a little farther in getting these people to listen and then actually disperse in a timelier fashion than sometimes that I see. So those are just a couple of things that maybe we need to look into.
And I want to say also, and I've a few bars, I drive through downtown, the doors have to be shut at 11 o'clock at night. And I've had to call up a few of the bars down there saying, hey, you guys got to shut your doors. You can't leave them open. It's a nice night out. It's hot in the bar, but you still can't have your doors open past 11 p.m. And I mean, one thing we're trying to mitigate this, I know there's people that park in our municipal parking lot over there that go over to your bar because they're not there and don't even go in, and they're outside loitering and hanging out. And we're trying to address that problem too. But I'm trying to see there's something that you guys can help us maybe close a little earlier and see if we can do something. Because I mean, like I said, we got multiple bars. We only have so many officers, and we can't be watching all of the city, when we got 2 or 3 bars giving us a problem with all of our officers trying to clear traffic. So I don't know if there's anything you can do to help us, Mr. Tharp, on that. On this one too, I'm not ready to rescind the formal expression of concern because I have a lot of concerns that something is going to happen here if we don't nip this in the bud. So I don't know if you got anything else to say.
We were trying to get them out of here about 15 minutes earlier. We'll see if that'll help you guys out.
You think that you could take Mr. Ortiz's suggestion and maybe have a staff member or two try and get people to leave the area, not just go down 1 or 2 doors?
We could definitely do that. That's not a problem at all to have somebody do that. That's not a problem. I mean, we pretty much do that, but we'll enforce it a little bit more and see if that'll help out.
I would appreciate that, Mr. Tharp. Thank you very much.
So is it so how do we dictate if it's our patrons or if the people coming from somewhere else and just loitering around and things of that nature? Could you guys help us out with some suggestions as far as that?
Well, I'm trying to work out things. See, I got the other side of the problem. I got people that live upstairs that can't get any sleep at night because of this stuff going on. So I have to be watching out for them also. I mean, maybe you can talk to Sergeant Ortiz or the off-duty officers and see if there's something else we can do, because this can't keep up. This has been going on for no matter who's been there, this has happened. And it's getting bigger and bigger problem. And, like you said, like the officers go there, they say, we're not leaving. I mean, I don't know what our role is anymore if we can't get people to understand they have to leave. So, I mean, I guess I would suggest talking to your off-duty officers and maybe set up something with the police department. I don't know, maybe set up a meeting with somebody. I don't know if the city attorneys would be a place to go and see if you guys can come up with some type of suggestions working together.
So,
All right, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna remind the committee that that's what the Good Neighbors meeting is for.
We did that.
But we do the Good Neighbors meeting at the beginning.
We did that.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
The Good Neighbors meeting was made for 2 purposes. One, it was to deal with new applicants, to go over what the regulations are and expectations. And then it's also to deal with problem properties. So if the committee will recall, oftentimes when a licensee is being called in for a formal expression of concern, one of the options that the committee does have is to send that licensee to the Good Neighbors meeting just to work out issues such as the one that you just raised. It can be done with a motion to receive and file or without. That's up to the committee, but that's an option.
Okay, I guess I would like that. I would like that done if we could do that. I don't know if one of you alders want to make, Alder
I make a
Perez?
motion that we send them to a Good Neighbors meeting with the intention of working out the details of the complaints.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, no? You got
Sir
something?
Alder, yes. You can certainly make a motion to do that, but you'll also need to make a motion to do something about the formal expression of concern as well, whether that's to rescind or to receive and file.
Would ask for a motion to
I would
receive.
make a motion to receive and file.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Tharp, the city attorneys, you contact them or they'll contact you to set up a Good Neighbors meeting.
Mr. Tharp, if I can I get your phone number while I have you on here so I can give you a call and set that up?
Area code is 334
Okay.
657 5626.
Okay, thank you. I'll be in touch.
Thank you, Mr. Tharp. All right. Okay, I'm going to ask this city clerk, the next three items, did any of these applicants call in? Because if not, I'd like to take them all up at one time. For the operator's licenses?
Yeah, Alder Horton, none of
Oh.
them actually emailed us or called us.
All right, so these next three items, these are three people that didn't show up the first time. So the vote would be, I mean, I would say we move to deny, but I'll read them. I'll read all three of them first. So it's item 072621, communication, requesting the appearance of Eugene Sills for an operator license working in the first district. Second one is item 0727-21, communication requesting the appearance of Dominique Monroe for an operator's license working in the 14th district. And the third one is 072821, communication requesting the appearance of Ryan Cavelli for an operator's license. None of these folks have called up for anything, contacted the city. And this is a
Motion to
second.
deny all three.
We have a
Second.
motion. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Moving on. 0751-21, communication requesting the approval of an agreement allowing Officer Stephen Beal to purchase a retired K-9 Dixie from the Racine Police Department. I believe Noah's going to speak on this.
Actually, Officer Chad Melby should be invited to this
Okay.
meeting. Naomi, I don't know if you have him online or in a waiting room.
We're checking the phone number right now. There's a 414 number. We're not sure if that is him or not.
Hello.
Is it,
Is this,
who are we speaking to?
This is Lieutenant Webb.
oh, yeah.
I didn't get the name.
It's Lieutenant Webb.
Okay, Lieutenant Webb. Okay,
We
I
don't
guess-
have the other caller, Attorney New, sorry.
that's okay. Is he going to speak to the item?
So I don't know why Officer Melby is not here. I know I gave him pretty last minute notice today, but this is essentially an agreement for the police department to give a retired canine dog back to its handler. In this case, Officer Stephen Beal. So as you might know, canines are purchased by the city of Racine. It gets trained in narcotics detection, among other things. And after the canine reaches a point where he cannot properly or efficiently do that anymore, what the city wants to do is to give that canine, essentially sell that canine for a nominal fee of $1 back to the officer. And the reason we sell it back to its handler is because the canine is familiar with the officer and does not pose a liability as he might with releasing it to a member of the public, for example, or being sold to someone else. So that's why we do that. So that's what the agreement essentially is. We have done this in the past. So this is, by my knowledge, at least the second time that council has done this.
I mean, and these dogs live with their handlers and their families. Am I correct?
Yes. So after the canine is retired, the officer assumes responsibility for the dog, including shelter, food, anything having to do with the dog. It essentially becomes the officer's dog at that point. It's a way to transfer liability from the city of Racine back to the officer.
Lieutenant Webb, you have anything to add to this?
No, I was just spectating.
Okay. So I know we've done this before. So any questions from any of the committee members?
I have a question for Attorney New.
Okay.
Because he is a now retired canine officer, does he get any? I know that the agreement said that the city has no liability anymore giving him overtime, but does he at least retain the retired officer designation, or do they do anything special for a retired canine? Do you know?
Sorry, I do not have that information. I do not know.
Sergeant Webb, anything?
Lieutenant Webb.
Or excuse me, darn it. Can you add anything to that, Lieutenant Webb?
No, yeah, I'm just spectating.
All right, then. And
I
like I
move
said,
to
we've
approve.
done this. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Last item of business on the agenda, 0783-21, communication on behalf of the City of Racine Police Department Liaison of the Public Safety and Licensing Committee requesting the consideration of the licensed premise report for 9/27/2021 and any formal expression of concern pursuant to it. Anything jump out at the police department on this?
No, there was between 9/1 and 9/24, there was 12 calls to licensed premises. Nothing really jumps out at me. I know that there was some concern maybe about double vision, but from this we have 2 calls, one being a rescue run where there was a patron inside that had fainted, and then the other one was reckless driving. So I did do some checking into the actual bar for the last 3 months. We got called there 5 times. One of them, the rescue run I just mentioned, one loud music, one was possible liquor violation with underage people there, but when we got there, there was no one in the bar that was underage. A fight on the 22nd of August, and then a wanted party back in July. There was someone that had warrants. When we got there, we got information that he had actually left the bar and was walking on the street. So those were the only 5 calls that I saw within the last 3 months from there. I also looked at the 3100 block of Douglas, and we just got 2 reckless driving, but again, not sure if they're related to the bar or just people on Douglas Avenue, because that is a main thoroughfare. So and then I did look up the 1500 block of Lombard, because that's the side street, and we have 1 call in that time period, and it's extra attention. So as far as this report, that would be the only thing that might be of concern, but like I said, when I look into it, it really doesn't meet my criteria as making it a big deal at this point.
Okay, any questions from any of the committee? Otherwise, I would ask to motion to receive and file this item.
Yeah, Officer, Sergeant, I have a question, Mr. Chairman. Sergeant Ortiz, with this double vision bar, I did talk to the owner a couple of times. His number was passed on to me, to the chairman. We had a couple conversations. And I did express to him about coming over, talking to him a little bit more in depth. He called me the weekend for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I called him back and he never returned my call. I know that it doesn't get to the, to the status of bringing them in. I don't want to just bring anyone in just to bring them. But I will reach back out to him to have this conversation. I don't know what he wanted to tell me on Saturday, but there have been calls from the constituents over there about several things, about burning tires, threatening people, punching people, and being threatened that if they call the police, they would be beat up. So let me try this. Let me try to talk to him to see what's his thing, because he is kind of like a mixed story. I did have a long conversation with him for about an hour, but I may need to dig into it just a little bit deeper to see if things can be resolved over there.
Okay. All right, so would ask for a motion to receive and file this item.
Motion to receive and file.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that exhausts our agenda, so I would ask a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? None? All right. Thank you guys very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You